Chapter 123 Business Deal. Topic? What topic? I came here asking for your final decision. Do you want to depart from here and live in secrecy? Or would you rather have me dispose of one of your great adversaries? After Han Li withdrew his gaze from the yellow-jacketed beauty, he straightened his face and said this, not polite in the least. After Lady Yan heard Han Li's words, she wrinkled her brow and slowly said this to Han Li, "Young Master Han, don't be in such a hurry. After we sisters thoroughly thought this through yesterday, we had decided to choose the second option. However, we wish to change the terms a bit. I already emphasized that I do not wish to haggle with the several madams over the terms. This matter cannot be changed. Agree to my conditions and choose." Han Li said, suddenly showing displeasure. "Young master, what do you think about my daughter's looks?" Lady Yan did not take notice of Han Li's displeasure and unexpectedly turned the conversation toward the three Mo sisters. National grace won with the scent of divinity. To praise the innate beauty of these women with these words would not be excessive. Han Li was surprised but immediately replied with a light smile. He somewhat vaguely understood Lady Yan's plan. "Our request is well within reason. So long as your distinguished self can eliminate the heads of the Rainbow Sect and the Hegemon's villa, not only will we give you the precious warm Yang Jade for detoxification, but you can also take all three sisters as your wives and concubines. Were you not looking at Fengwu just a moment ago? So long as you agree, she could be of your Han clan." Lady Yan earnestly said, pointing behind her to Mo Yuju and their daughters. Fourth Mother. Mother. Mo Yuju and Mo Kaiwan's expressions greatly changed, and they could not help but cry out. It was clear that these two had not been informed of this and were frightened pale by Lady Yan's rash promise. Apart from Lady Yan's complexion turning slightly pale, she had still kept her calm. It was no surprise that they were so alarmed. Han Li's appearance was truly not astonishing at all, and he was a world of difference away from the two's image of their ideal husband. They didn't share a single common trait with him. How could they be willing to marry themselves to Han Li? Stop talking. This is a matter that I and your mothers have already decided upon. If you do not comply, you will be expelled from the Mo estate," Lady Yan said with a cold voice as she lowered her face. Hearing these words being uttered, the three Mo sisters were all stunned. Mo Yuju slightly bit her almond lips as her complexion ashened. The dazed Mo Kaiwan gazed toward her second mother and fifth mother, both of whom usually loved her the most dearly, while begging with her eyes. Only Mo Fengwu was somewhat better, but her body had lightly trembled. She motionlessly leaned against the wall. "There is no need to threaten the young ladies. I cannot agree to your conditions. It's like how that old saying goes, no matter the circumstances, I will not brave pointless hazards. I quite cherish my little life." After a moment of silence, Han Li replied with a lowered voice, flatly rejecting Lady Yan's proposal. As for Han Li, to say that his heart was not moved when facing the three beautiful Mo sisters would be a completely false statement. However, Han Li had already carefully considered that if he were to kill the other two hegemons of the land province, it would surely provoke the notice of someone observant and cause life-threatening disaster to descend upon him. Just by thinking about it, after the Rainbow Sect and the Soul Hegemon's villa's collapse, Lady Yan was certain to bring the fearsome Flood Dragon Association to great power and become the greatest beneficiary. In addition, with the abrupt appearance of a stranger in the Mo estate suddenly taking Mo's three tender beauties as his wives, it would undoubtedly imply that he was this matter's greatest contributor as well as the killer. If this were to provoke some mysterious force that watched over cultivators, then nothing good would happen to this dabbler in cultivation. It was more than likely that he would not be able to keep his little life. In that case, what use would there be for the exquisite, ravishing, dainty beauty of these three Mo sisters? As a result, Han Li inwardly gave himself a bitter smile and shoved the appearance and fragrance of the three great beauties to the side. As for whether the Mo sisters were fond of him or not, Han Li could not care less. So long as he obtained these beautiful women, then acquiring their hearts was only a matter of time. However, to say this at this moment was already useless. If Han Li's previous words had scalded the hands of the three Mo sisters like a sweet potato, that absolutely didn't trouble him at all. He currently planned to dissolve the Koldian poison from his body as soon as possible and then depart from this quarrelsome place. As for whether the Mo estate would later acquire disaster or fortune, that had nothing to do with him. Han Li spoke of his rejection. Although the faces of Lady Yan and the other wives weren't good, the Mo sisters have grown a rather favorable impression of him. Even the youngest, Mo Kaiwan, smiled through her fake tears that created a devil's mask with which she disguised herself in front of Han Li. In addition, even Mo Yuju's and Mo Fengwu's impression of Han Li had softened by considerably, causing them to view him in a new light. Lady Yan sighed. The rest looked at each other with meaningful glances, and then turned their bodies. Helpless, Lady Yan said, "Since young Master Han hasn't changed his mind, then we will leave the matter alone. We will reach a deal according to young Master's conditions. So long as young Master Han can kill the Hegemon's Villa Sovereign, Furious Lion Ouyang Feidian, we will hand over the precious warm Yang Jade that will let your distinguished self be detoxified." Hee. You women are quite good at scheming. I heard this Ouyang Feidian is at the prime of his life and has yet to have children. The Hegemon's villa will almost certainly collapse immediately after his death. Its subordinates would be in complete disarray, too busy to worry about the fearsome Flood Dragon Association. Han Li stroked his nose, softly laughing. When Lady Yan heard Han Li's words, she gave Han Li a cold glance. "It is not as you say. Do you know who it was that sent Wu Jianming here? It was by the order of this sovereign Ouyang. In addition, Wu Jianming is Ouyang Feidian's seventh disciple, and is extremely doted upon. The sovereign of Hegemon's villa was of the same generation as our lord husband and is of nearly the same age. From the beginning, he has been ambitiously wanting to proclaim himself sovereign of the entire land province, and thus he employed the tactics first weak then strong, striving to first consume the fearsome Flood Dragon Association and then deal with the Rainbow Sect. Several years ago, he instigated my lord husband's sword little brother Ma Kongshan and my lord husband's second disciple, Jiao Kun, to attempt to split the fearsome Flood Dragon Association. In the end, it was seen through by us sisters, and we killed those two and their accomplices in advance. However, the fearsome Flood Dragon Association's strength had been greatly damaged. We had to retreat step by step under the pressure from the Hegemon's villa's advancing army. As a result, we had no choice but to pull back our men and entrench ourselves in Jia Yuan City." Lady Yan softly spoke of a few of the fearsome Flood Dragon Association's secrets. "However, your current influence in Jia Yuan City seems to not amount to much either. Couldn't the Hegemon's villa just exterminate you in a single vigorous attempt?" Han Li thought for a moment and asked, slightly puzzled. "Hee. Ouyang Feidian, that madman, doesn't dare to attack here. Naturally, he has his reasons. If you want to too, so long as you agree to our sister's original conditions, I will tell young master." Third wife Lu giggled, telling half-truths with her alluring voice. "Hee. Let's forget about it then. I was just a bit curious." Han Li remained completely calm and collected. "Really? Not a single bit masculine, without even the slightest intention of bringing out a bit more force?" Third wife Lu said with her small mouth, as if teasing Han Li. Lady Yan and the others turned a blind eye to the third wife's actions. However, the three Mo sisters' faces had turned red. After all, their own elder had teased the man they were originally about to marry right in front of his face. Outrageous. Mo Kaiwan pouted and firmly glared at Han Li. However, Han Li seemed to not notice this in the least, as if he were in his own world. Instead, he replied, "Third Martial Mother speaks of this quite lightly. Since a bit of force could cost me my own life, I'm fine with not being a masculine man. I'm fine so long as I am a man." Perhaps Han Li's last sentence was a bit too frank, because not only did it stun third wife Lu, who pursed the lips of her enchanting smile, it also annoyed second wife Li and Lady Yan. "Young master, how do you plan to take Ouyang Feidian's life?" This person spends his days hiding deeply within the villa and rarely leaves. Not only is he at the pinnacle of martial arts, his shrewdness is outstanding. He is quite a difficult opponent to deal with. Lady Yan firmly said with a stiff complexion. Lady Forth shouldn't worry about that. You just have to prepare me a good horse and a portrait of this person. Then I will make him disappear from this world. I hope so. Lady Yan softly spoke. Back to the previous topic, shouldn't you give me a guarantee that when I return from my completed task, you women will not become hostile and refuse to acknowledge your debt? Han Li intoned, soft as a feather. What kind of guarantee does your distinguished self want? Lady Yan didn't show any discontent but rather seemed to have already anticipated this demand. Inside this bottle, there is a medicine pill. I must ask everyone to take this poison, but I will not say what it is. In any case, wait for day I come back after killing Ouyang to exchange the antidote for the precious warm Yang jade. Han Li felt around for a porcelain bottle before setting it on the table and coldly staring at Lady Yan and her family members. Lady Yan did not say anything further and extended her fine lily-white hands to grab the bottle. She poured out a jade green pill and looked to Lady Li and the others before tilting her head up and swallowing it. Good courage. Good decisiveness. You are truly worthy of leading the fearsome Flood Dragon Association. Han Li could not help but give praise. His gaze then moved toward the rest of the women. One outstanding beauty,